Hey everyone, Jacob here at SDR. Today we're going to be going over the install of our Ranger bed rack system. So once you open the box and get everything laid out here, you should have a driver and passenger side upright. You should have 3 front to back crossbows and 2 of the longer horizontal crossbows. And for hardware, you should have 1 manila bag that's going to come with your longer 3/8 mount bolts, your mount washers, and a bag of 1/4-20s to actually throw the whole rack together. All right, so the first step in actually assembling everything here is going to be to go ahead and grab your driver and passenger uprights, lay them across from each other, and grab those horizontal crossbows. And what we're going to do with those is just grab a couple of these 1/4-20s. And run them inside of the pocket of the upright. Just throw some hardware in there loose, washer and a nut on the back side, and we can go ahead and do this for all 4 corners. All right, so once your crossbows, your horizontal crossbows are all in, you'll go ahead and grab the 3 shorter crossbows that'll run front to back on the bed rack, and we'll go ahead and get those installed. There is 3 specific positions to put them in. That way, if you ever end up running our floor and basket kit, everything still lines up. So your center is gonna go right in the center, even with this slot, and your 2 outer braces will go in the first slot on either side. So we'll go ahead and grab some of those 1/4-20s, and again, get them just thrown in loose. Okay, so once we're at this point, you've got everything loosely installed. Go ahead and tighten everything down, and if you're doing just the base bed rack kit, you can go ahead and take this over to the car and get it thrown on. If you are doing the floor and the basket kit, you'll go ahead and grab all that stuff right now, leave all this hardware loose, and we'll go ahead and get that thrown on. All right, so today we're gonna be going ahead and installing the floor and basket kit on our Polaris Ranger bed rack system. So when you go ahead and get everything unboxed, you should have what you see here. You should have 2 floor panels, so left half and a right half, passenger and driver rear corner braces, a driver and passenger front basket, and a driver and passenger basket side. So in the manila bag that comes with your bed rack system, you'll go ahead, open that up, and you should have 2 bags of hardware in it, 1 big old bag of 1/4-20s, and a bag of some smaller 1032s, as well as the 2 logo backers. All right, so in putting your bed rack together, you should have put the 3 crossbows in some specific locations. They'll start to make sense now. So we'll go ahead and get those floor panels set on and lined up. They are square, so it doesn't matter forward, backward, left, right, whichever side you put them on, just go ahead and throw them up. And basically you can start with lining up the outside 2 corners in the upright and work your way from there. So typically I'll go in the center holes of the crossbows, stay out of the slots, and just work my way down. So I'll go ahead and start throwing the hardware in some of these, and then we can show you guys that once they're all in. All right, so once you've got that floor on, we'll go ahead and we'll move to starting assembling the basket. You do have to pay attention to which way is front and which way is back on the bed rack. You'll notice there's a larger cutout on this side than there is back here. That larger cutout is going to be the front of the bed rack towards the cab of the vehicle. Okay, so now that we've made that distinction of which side is the front and which side is the back, we're gonna go ahead and start the assembly of the actual basket system here. So first things first, you'll go ahead and grab the driver and passenger side front basket pieces and get those laid out here, like I said, on the front. We'll grab some 1/4-20s. You'll bolt them together in the center, and then they'll sit up on this lip right here. And you'll go ahead and skip holes and throw 1/4-20s in here, again keeping everything loose until the end of the install. All right, so once those front rails for the basket are all on, we'll go ahead and grab our driver and passenger side rails. The S logo is going to go towards the front, so it'll go towards that rail that we just put on. before you mount these to the bed rack, it's a good idea. It's just a little bit easier if you go ahead and throw the backers in first. So grab that second bag of hardware and just throw those backers in. And then once those backers are in, you can go ahead and install it on the rack. So, like I said, the SDR logo is going to go towards the front of the car, so it'll go at the rails that you already installed. You'll set it up there. Go ahead and throw 2 1/4-20s in these guys here, and there is 4 along the bottom that you can go ahead and throw in as well. Leave those loose, and then we'll add the corner braces. All right, so last part of the floor and basket install here is just gonna be these corner gussets. They also work as a tie down point for a spare tire or anything back there. The rest of the bed rack is all 1/8" aluminum, and these guys are 1/8" steel, so they just take the load a little bit better. These guys obviously are mirrors, driver to passenger, so we'll go ahead and just slide those into the pocket and throw in all 5 1/4-20s. As well as the nuts and washers on the underside, and we'll get everything all squared up and we'll throw it on the car. If you're doing the tire wing, you can throw it on now or once it's on the car, but from here you're all good. You can go throw it on the car and go from there. All right, last little bit that we'll do to the bed rack before it's on the car is we'll go ahead and install our tire wing extension. Basically all this is going to let you do is, if you're running a bigger tire, just give you a couple extra inches off the back to be able to strap it down to. So in that box you should have the tire wing itself and your manila envelope of hardware with a bag of 1/4-20s and a bag of backer plates and 1032s for the logo. So first things first, go ahead and get those backer plates thrown on to the wing, and then we'll get the wing thrown on the rack. All right, so once you've got that backer plate installed, we'll just go ahead and grab the tire wing here, and you'll have mount points here and here, as well as along that back rib. I like to start with the upper mounting points on the outside, just so it kind of hangs there. All right, and then once you have the 4 in the outers, you can go ahead and take the rest and run them between the actual flange of the bed rack and the flange on the tire wing, and then we can go ahead and tighten everything down. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and start prepping the bed to mount the bed rack to. So first things first, you're gonna need a 10mm socket, and you can go ahead and remove the 2 mounting bolts and remove the tail light. And then just wiggle it and pull back. Remove the electrical connector and set your tail light aside. All right, next step here is going to be to remove the 4 T30 bolts along the top rail of the bed. You'll have a longer one in the front, 2 shorter ones in the middle, and another long one in the back. All right, now down under the wheel arch, there's going to be 4 more T30s. You'll have 1, 2 right here, and another 1, 2 hiding up behind the latch release. All right, and the last step in the bedside removal is 1 T40 right here behind the handle. And then to remove the bedside, pull out and down on this back here. There's 2 pieces. Make sure those separate, and then you can pull it down the handle and off. All right, so once your bed rack is sitting on the bed here and you've got your bed sides all off, you'll go grab that remaining hardware. Washer on the top side, you'll drop them through. You'll have these laser cut washers in the hardware pack. The notch in it is to sit on that rib there. And then nut on the bottom. You'll go ahead and hit these 4 here, tighten them up with a 9/16 socket and wrench. Put your bed sides back on and you're good to go. Once you've got the bed sides and the tail lights and everything back on, that wraps up the main install of the bed rack system. Now you have the option to run our Molle panels. So we're gonna go ahead and bolt those onto here. And then after that, everything's all complete. All right, so for installing your Molle panels on your Ranger bed rack, there's really only one thing that you gotta pay attention to, and that's that this strip goes towards the top. So you'll line it up, throw your hardware in. Now it comes with 6 bolts per side, so I go top, middle, bottom. Nuts and washers on the back side, and then you'll be a 7/32 Allen and a 9/16 socket. You can go ahead and get everything tightened up, and you're good to go.